It's 10:34 on the clock. You're tuned into On the Road Busan on Friday, the 24th of May. It's time for The Real Tips with Dennis. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Real good. Doing great.
Good. I'm good. I'm kind of sad because we're temporarily saying goodbye to you for a little while. Well, you go off and do something incredibly important and fantastic, and but you'll be back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back. I really enjoy it very much.
So we're going to say a temporary goodbye at the end of this show, but not yet because we're just starting.
Okay.
This is the Real Tips, travel safety tips. Tell us, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today I have a great tip with kind of how to use visualization to help you kind of in critical or dangerous situations. It's a technique that can help you take action quickly, without hesitating, without making mistakes. It's helped me in many different dangerous situations.
Yeah. Okay, so... Excuse me, it keeps getting worse and worse. I do a lot of visualization.
Yes.
I do a lot of visualization meditation or guided meditations when I teach like workshops or classes.
Yes.
Also when I teach golf. Darling, you have to visualize the perfect shot. I do a lot of that. And so tell us, for our listeners who don't know what it is visualization. What is this technique?
Yeah, in this situation, it's kind of when you're a dangerous or critical situation. You just take a few moments in your mind, you visualize exactly what you need to do, how you're going to do it. It prepares you so that when you actually take action, you know exactly what to do and you act quickly without hesitating, without mistakes. You also feel a little more confident often because you feel like in your mind you've already done it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the good things about the visualization technique, especially for visualizing success.
Yes, that's another way of using it.
Test exams and that kind of stuff. Because what you do is you implant it. So your brain doesn't really tell the difference between actual action or just mental action.
That's very true.
So your brain thinks you've already got that feeling of having done it, right?
Yeah, a lot of people in sports and business and so forth use it all the time.
Yeah.
Mine, I just applied it to travel.
Yeah, very interesting.
Dangerous situations.
Okay, so how do we do it then?
Well, what you would first do is you kind of very quickly evaluate your situation, evaluate what it is, next decide exactly what action you need to take, then decide how you do it. And then in your mind, you just quickly visualize yourself doing that. And you visualize step by step. I'm going to put my right leg out first. I'm going to use my left hand to open the door. I'm going to run this way. I'm going to turn that way. You visualize step by step exactly what you're going to do. And the whole process only takes several seconds.
Yeah.
To do that in your mind.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's really interesting and it's very effective.
Yeah, it is.
I've never done it in a travel situation, though.
Yeah, I've had some emergency situations, and usually for me, if I have a critical, intense situation, my mind gets very calm, and everything slows down.
I'm the same.
Slow motion.
If something
bad's
going on,
and I plan it out, and I visualize.
It's like, right, okay, we need to be calm now.
Yeah.
Afterwards you can freak out about it.
Yeah, it would happen.
At the time. Okay, so can you give us... Just, I guess, to help me understand, and perhaps some of our listeners, can you give us an example of when you've used this technique?
Yeah, sure. I can give you an example from my book, Travelin. I was in a very desperate situation. I'll tell you the story. It's kind of a long story.
That's okay. I love your stories.
But it's got kind of a great example and has some other good lessons along with the story.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old. I'm in Tangiers, Morocco. I just crossed the Sahara Desert by bribing my way and hitchhiking through the sub-Saharan war zone.
Scary.
I'd been traveling with my brother John for a month now.
Yeah.
And we're running out of money. And our situation is getting more and more desperate. We know we cannot get back with the money we have. We've not eaten now in 2 or 3 days because we don't want to spend any money. Any money we spend is more money we have to make. And we're on the streets, and we had to somehow get some money or we know we're never going to make it back.
Right. Okay, so... you guys are really, really desperate.
Yeah, at that point.
How did visualization help in this situation?
Well, it was just when I got in that critical, dangerous situation, got me out of it.
Okay.
I didn't visualize before. I was reacting to the situation.
Right, okay.
So in this case, we're on the streets of Tangiers. It's late at night. We're running out of money and options. We need to get some money now.
Yeah.
So we decide our great plan is, we'll deal with the hustler on the street and sell some of our goods, maybe some clothes or trinket for money. We need cash. And there's always hustlers around us approaching us. We pick one guy, this bearded guy with a beard. We say, okay, we want to trade some of our clothes or goods for cash. We need cash. He's like, oh, yes, Joe. They always call us Joe. Yes, Joe, my friend, he has a big clothes store. You buy, or he buy, you sell. You big money, Joe. Come with me, come with me. So we don't trust this guy. We start following him through the streets of Tangiers. He walks through the markets, over some hills, around about. We're following him for quite a ways. And then, just like that, suddenly he takes this sharp turn. And just like that, we're in this dark and narrow alley. We're isolated from the city. We're alone. There's no way out except the way we came in.
Yeah.
And we're following him down this alley.
Yeah.
In Tangiers.
And so this is the thing, because I know from your experience, this is the kind of situation where you'd be like, no, instincts kicking in, gut instincts kicking in, not going down here.
Very true.
But you said you followed this guy into the dark alley. What happened to your situational awareness, Dennis? Everything you've been teaching us, your gut instinct. Why did you keep following him? Didn't your instincts like burp, burp, burp?
Yeah, my instincts were going crazy. They were high alert. You know, and I normally I'd never allow myself to be put in that situation.
Yeah.
Following a stranger I don't know through a dark, isolated alley at night to an unknown destination to meet some unknown trader.
Yeah.
Normally I'd never allow myself in that situation.
None of this sounds good.
But the thing was, we were just so desperate.
Right.
We had to get money now.
Yeah.
And every hour, every night we went without money, we're getting further in the hole to get back. So we just made a decision, we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
So as we're walking... I tell my brother, watch ahead of us, I'll watch our back.
Yeah.
We continue following him.
I mean, I know you made it out safely because you're here to tell the tale.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, though.
But it's getting, intense, and you were in. I mean, you committed. It's
got worse and worse as we went along.
It's like a thriller movie. It's like a thriller movie. So what happened next, and how did, we always have to bring it back about the visualization. How did that help? Yeah,
so what we did is we kept following him through the dark alley about another 300 meters. He stops, and he says, okay, my friend's shop here, close. And he's starting to get nervous, which is making me nervous.
Right.
And then he says, my friend, Power Man, you show respect. So I'm wondering, what's a power man?
Yeah.
And his nervousness made me nervous.
Yeah.
So we walk a little further, and off the alley, there is kind of about the size of a garage. There's one room. There's some clothes hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
There's one light bulb, bright light.
Yeah.
We don't see him in the room. So he walks to the back of the room, and there's this big rug on the wall. He pulls this rug up, and there's this little opening about 4 feet high into this back hidden room.
Oh,
he points into this room. So now our situation is going from, desperate to,
to worse.
Worse. So I look at John. John looks at me. We always just shrug. I shrug. He shrugs. We're going to go in.
Yeah.
So we follow him into this back little room. It's a small room, square room, about the size of your studio here. We're sitting against one wall, the hustlers on the other wall, and the doors behind us here. As soon as we sit down, this big guy, well-dressed guy, airman, steps in, stands to his full bulk. He just stands next to the door like a guard or like a bodyguard or intimidation. So now we're just getting real nervous. And so we sit there for a while. Then this other Arab man walks in, and he sweeps into the room. He's wearing this beautiful, magnificent robe. He's about 35 years old, got this trim beard, real handsome, and he starts speaking perfect English.
Yeah.
We'd not heard any English for a month, out there.
And it was a relief.
It was.
A huge relief.
But he starts talking, not really talking. He goes into this vicious rant about Americans. We're sitting on the floor cross-legged. He's standing up above us. He's pacing back and forth looking at us. And he's on this rant about, I hate Americans. I hate you. And I want to do this to you. And I want to do this to you. Right in our face.
Oh my
He's making these very direct, serious threats at our face. And he's on this rant for about 4 or 5 minutes. We're just stunned. We've come here to trade some clothes. And then I remember just like that, he goes off the rant about Americans and goes on to guns. Oh, I know you Americans. You always have guns. You give me a gun, I give you lots of money. Where's your gun? Give me your gun. We're like, no, look, we have nothing. Here. We have no guns. And after about maybe 5-10 minutes of this vicious rant pointing down at us, he stops, he goes dead calm, and he sits down across from us and says, okay, now we trade, in a very calm, composed voice. He goes from the psycho chic to this calm trader in a moment.
Yeah. That's really, what's the word, unsettling.
Yes.
Very unsettling.
We're just very on guard.
And, I mean, he sounds intelligent.
Yeah, he spoke very well.
But he sounds a little bit over the edge, intense, and perhaps a little bit
romantic. And yeah, we were concerned. We didn't know if it was just a negotiating tactic to put us on defensive.
Yeah.
Right away, he seemed a little crazy, but we definitely knew he was dangerous.
Yeah.
He was just a dangerous guy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so then what happened?
Well, we're sitting across from him on the floor. My brother John and I. He's right across about 2 feet away, and he starts looking at me. my brother and I. He sees my backpack. He pulls my backpack out from under me, unzips it, start going through my stuff.
Yeah.
He's looking over at the big guy at the door. All the guy has a bunch of old dirty T-shirts and smelly underwear. And he's like, oh, this is crap. Oh, this is garbage. Look at this garbage. And he finally gets really angry, throws my backpack back at me.
Yeah.
So I pick up my backpack, my clothes real quick, stuff it back in. Now he's sitting across, just kind of a little bit angry. And he's looking at us back and forth. Then he noticed I had my high school leather jacket under another jacket.
Yeah.
I wore all my clothes at one time. I carried everything I could wear. He sees that jacket, and he pulls my jacket off. He says, oh, is this truly American jacket? And he talked about killing Americans, hating us.
Yeah.
He wants to see my high school jacket. He says, oh, let me see that. And he stands up, takes off his beautiful, magnificent robe, this full-length robe with a hood, and puts on my dirty, beat-up old high school jacket. He starts pacing around the room with my jacket on. Then he says something to the big guy at the door. The big guy leaves, comes back with this full-length mirror. Now he's looking at himself in the mirror. And then he says something else to the big guy again. The big guy goes, comes back, and he's holding this beautiful full-length robe, similar to the sheikh's robe, this beautiful, magnificent robe. The Arab sheikh turns to us, and he says, I give you that robe for this jacket. It's a fair trade. I'm thinking, man, that's a great trade.
Yeah.
That robe is probably worth a fortune back in America.
Yeah.
But we need cash.
Yeah.
Doesn't do us any good. So my brother speaks up. John says, no, we came here for cash. We need money. And as soon as we said no, there's just this kind of flash of anger through his face. I think nobody ever says no to him.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there kind of seething across from us, looking at us very angry. Then the next thing he did is he saw on my hand I had my high school ring, which wasn't very expensive, but had a big black stone.
Yeah. This is the one.
Yeah. Many people tried to steal that from me.
Yeah.
Buy it from me, steal it from me. I always wore the stone under so he couldn't see it in my hand. He sees that ring, and he grabs my hand, and he says, oh, I like that. Let me see that. I say, no, it's special. No trade. He says, no, let me see that. So we had this tug-of-war back and forth with my ring, and I won't give it up.
Yeah.
My jacket I would have sold, but not my ring. And he says, okay, I give you good money for that ring. I say, no trade, no cash. This is special.
Yeah.
And he just gets really, really angry.
Yeah.
So he stands up. He's just seething with his rage. And he starts pacing back and forth across the room.
Yeah.
He walks very slowly back over to John and I. He leans right down on our face with his finger just right next to my face, our eyes. And he says something in Arabic. And he hisses this threat. I don't know what he said in Arabic, but it sent a shiver down my spine.
Your body energy just knew.
We knew it
was not good.
Yeah, it was no good, and we had to do something quickly. So he starts pacing around the room at that time, walking around the room, just looking at the guy at the door. That gave us finally a little bit of time.
So then what happened after that?
Well, then I knew it was do or die time. You know, that we might have to take action soon to escape that room. So while he's only pacing for a few minutes.
Yeah.
I prepared myself and visualized exactly what I had to do to get out of that room, get back on the alley, and back into...
Back through, and you're going through the route that you took and how to get out, and then a good different way. Yeah. Okay. So it was critical. You knew you had to get out. You knew exactly what you were going to do. You can't hesitate. You can't make a mistake in this situation.
Yeah,
You've got 3
one
guys
mistake,
against 2.
And who knows who he has outside there either.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. So what did you do?
Well, so there was only one door, and it seemed like there's not a lot to prepare or visualize.
Right.
But there was.
Right.
In my mind, what I'm thinking, okay, first, we have to chance it. As soon as we have a chance, we got to go. The situation is getting worse. His anger is getting up and so forth. We might not have a second chance. So I visualized first, I'm going to do it with my foot. Which foot I'm going to step out from, my right foot. And then I slowly adjusted my weight. So I'm in a set position.
So you're in a position ready to run.
Ready to stand right up, pop right up. And then I thought about my backpack. My backpack, I can't put in my back. I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I got positioned my backpack right in my right side on the floor, holding in my hand. I can just pull it right along with me. I don't think about it. So I got my backpack set. I'm set in a position I can jump up very quickly and run. Then I think about the door. It's a really low door. If I go through too quickly, I'll smash my head. They'll catch me. So I visualize just bending down, going through the door, then out the door through the shop. Okay, I got to turn right. Once I leave the shop, I visualize running through those alleys until I get that main street, turn left on the main street. And I visualize just step by step exactly what I have to do, very quickly.
The thing is, the process of visualizing, it would take just a few seconds, I guess. But it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to do. And if you're not sure of how to get out of a situation, you had time, thankfully.
Yeah, he gave us a few
But if you're
minutes.
not sure how to get out, it's something that you definitely a technique you need to practice.
Yeah, and you drop your backpack, you bump into the door, you don't make it through the door, you turn the wrong way, now you're caught.
And I can see, without first deciding what to do and visualising, you could make a mistake.
Yeah, very easily.
You could, make a wrong turn, you could bang into John, you could trip up and fall.
I've done that.
So what did you do?
Well, actually, it kind of happened pretty close to what I visualized. When the sheik stormed out of the room, the big guy turned towards him, was looking away out the door. I just, out of my side of my eye, I looked at John, I said, on 3. 1, 2, and then at 3, we both just jumped up, bolted out of that door, right out of the room in just like a second or two. Yeah. The big guy didn't even see us. Yeah. By the time we're out of the door, he didn't even see us. He saw us running away. By the time he saw us, we run straight out of the room, take that right turn, weave through the alley, running. I don't stop running, get on the main street, and I just kept running. Yeah. I was pumped up. I'm worried about him sending some of his guys out. Yeah. Finally, I hear this voice behind me. It's John. Says, Dennis, stop. We're good. We're far enough away. So we stop. Now we're on the street. We've wasted half the night. We're more tired. We're hungry,
No money still.
Money got to start over, Yeah. But we're just happy to get out of there.
Alive.
Yeah, because he was
unharmed.
He was a dangerous guy. Yeah. And we're isolated back in that little room, that hidden alley, and
that's an incredible story.
Yeah, I think back, because I had something happen, right? I got actually robbed in China a couple of years ago. And I think of some of all these experiences I had traveling, 55 countries, hundreds of cities, ships like this. I had a lot of situations that nothing really bad ever happened. It could have so quickly. Yeah. If you had a guy waiting outside the door, he brought somebody in there. Yeah. If he fell down. Yeah. I had many situations like that. I never thought about when I was traveling. Yeah. I was always very aware and very careful, but I never really thought about how truly dangerous sometimes.
It's such an incredible story. And it just shows you how visualizing what you need to do in critical situations can help anyone to take the correct action and without hesitating or making mistakes. And okay, so not everyone's going to be in that situation, down an alleyway with a sheik and a bouncer and a hustler. So how could we apply it to just in general, like taking taxis or going into hotels, or like even in, natural disaster situations when you're traveling in a country and there's a siren that goes off or something? Yeah,
I just kind of, if there is some kind of situation like that, where I'm someplace where maybe there is I was in places where there was under martial law, or there's certain thing happening. So, like I said, I always, I walk into a room, identify where my, danger is, my exit point, and so forth, and then I'd visualize if I have to leave this hotel. Like when I get a hotel room, I'm looking outside the room. Oh, there's a walkway here. Yeah. If the elevator's shut down, electricity's out, I can take that, that path here. And I visualize how to get out of situations, how to move away from danger. Yeah. And just little situations like that. And then also, like in my business life and sports life, I visualize all the time. Yeah. When I was playing sports, I'd visualize first what I'm going to do, and then do it. Yeah. And same with, like you're talking about, success in your life in general. I think visualization, a lot of people I've read, like, I don't know if you know Jack Nicklaus, he's one of the greatest golfers. Yeah. I was reading his book, he visualized every shot. Before he hit the golf shot, in his mind, he's taking that swing, hits the ball, he sees exactly where it's going to land, and then he actually does it.
And does it.
And it's kind of true what you're saying about visualization. It fools your mind. You don't know if it's true or not. Yeah. You feel like you've already done it. Yeah. Also, if like before, and I have to give a real important speech, I'd be nervous about a speech. Yeah. So I'd visualize exactly when I'm going to walk out in the room, where I'm going to stand, where the microphone is, if I have to use the screen, where the screen is.
Visualize everyone clapping and all clapping. That stuff. Yeah. Yep. So we've got a message from Shazi Kanim. Did you get your jacket back when you were in that room with the sheikh?
Oh, I did. He threw it back at me. He threw it back in my face. And so I had my jacket, I had my backpack, and I just stuffed everything in. Yeah. When I ran out, I think I lost a couple socks or something, but I don't know, nothing important. Yeah. I had nothing important anyways on me. That high school jacket, though, I liked.
Yeah, so you kept your jacket. Yeah. And I still have it somewhere. Unharmed. Yeah. Dennis, it's always a pleasure, and I love having you in the studio. I wish we could talk for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
Unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye. It's always a pleasure. We'll speak to you not next week.
Yeah, but sometime soon.
But sometime very soon. All right, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
great. Yep, thanks.
Oh, I feel kind of really stressed after that story, but very relieved. It's like a movie. I visualised it all in my brain. Dennis running through a 4-foot high door. Dennis is not 4 foot high, let me tell you. Anyway, I am going to say goodbye for today. As always, thank you for joining us here at On the Road Busan. We won't be back tomorrow morning. Of course, it's the exchange show. Hello, Gwangju. Hello, Busan. So we do an exchange program with Gwangju GFN. And so we'll be back on Sunday with our special show. Hello, Busan. Hello, Gwangju. Until then, enjoy the show tomorrow. We'll see you back on Sunday morning and have a fabulous Friday. Today's show is brought to you by Jo Yoon-jin PD님. It was written by Jang Yuna 작가님 and it was hosted by me, Laura McLuckie. Darlings, have a fabulous day. The final song today is All the Time by The Cooks. Happy Friday.
Why don't